if you find a way to provide value to your fellow human being,
yes,
you will never lack what to eat.
that's Hello, thank you for being on our YouTube channel. Today I have Mary. She's a realtor here in Atlanta, a big dog, a big player in the market. And Mary, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. I have the pleasure of sitting here next to my lovely sister. It's an honor to be with you all, her fan base, her supporters. We appreciate you. My name is Marie Hancock. I am in real estate full-time, absolutely full-time. And outside of that, really what my role is to assist client in building a wealth strategy based around real estate and all type of assets. I'm a mother of 2 lovely children. What else should I share with them?
Where are you from?
Oh yes, I am from Togo, born in Togo. I was raised by the beautiful continent, an old continent of Africa. I've been in few countries there, and spent about 10 years in France and 20 years now in the United States. So I'm hoping that all of these experiences have made me the person that I am today, and that allows me to relate to the people that I come across, and that, you know.
And how many languages do you speak, Mary?
Mary only speaks 6 languages.
Only?
Yes.
And what are those languages?
French, English, Spanish, Italian, and Japanese. Ewe,
Japanese?
Mina.
Wow.
I did my undergrad in Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
there was a Japanese boy behind it. For real.
Oh, really?
Naoki Nagasaku, if you're there, I love you.
Oh, wow. So, and then you speak your African dialect too?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you live in Ivory Coast also?
I did live in Ivory Coast for 3 years. Shout out to my Ivorian people. You all are awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome people. They're very nice people. So now what did you study at school? What did you graduate?
Oh, yes. I have studied finance and accounting.
Okay.
First, I went for gestion d'entreprise. How do you say that in English again?
That's business?
Yeah, it's business management.
Yeah,
business management. And then I did a focus in finance and accounting prior to coming to the States. And then when I came here, you know, you don't get your degrees recognized, so you have to go back and acquire more of the knowledge or repeat the knowledge. In my case, it was a repeat of the knowledge. So I did a business management emphasis in economics here, and I was an accountant for 14 plus years.
Wow. And
I also worked in hospitality, you know, as a client relationship manager with Intercontinental Hotel Group. Yeah. And American Express as a fraud and risk analyst.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And now I'm in real estate.
And now you're real estate. What was the switch?
Really, it was out of frustration. Okay. It was out of frustration for micromanagement. It was out of frustration for not finding the right real estate agent for what we were trying to accomplish. My husband was a flipper. We were rehabbing homes, looking for damaged property that we would restore and put back on the market. And we were looking for an agent that was not only investor friendly, but that had the knowledge to not only guide us, but to be an advisor, you know, not just say, hey, here's a home.
Here's the contract
sign. But somebody that would be an advisor that would come alongside and say, no, I don't think that ARV is correct, or these are the fact or data in the market that I see would not support what you are planning for here. Or these type of renovations are not really applicable because you would be either over upgraded or under upgraded based on what's around you, you know? So I started doing that. I took a course in 2009 from Armando Monterrigo and team. Went to California on a boot camp for a month. And after that, I'm like, okay, what do I do with this knowledge? I didn't have the cash. I didn't have a whole lot of money. Hungry student here on the ramen noodles. So, I met my husband and he was like, well, let's do it together.
Yeah.
So there, the rest is history.
Well, so you start by flipping houses.
Yes.
That was big in the days. You could make really good money flipping houses. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now.
And that was in Atlanta or in Utah?
No, this was in Utah and Iowa.
Utah and Iowa, okay.
Yeah, then Utah, Iowa, then Texas. I didn't live in Texas, but we were acquiring properties there because, they had a...
So a realtor can be licensed in different cities?
Absolutely.
Oh, so you're not bound to one city?
No.
Okay.
Most people are bound to one city, but because I have a network all over the country, I started acquiring additional licenses.
Okay.
Yeah, to help them out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, as a realtor, how do you see the market right now?
I absolutely love this market. I say if you have the cash and you can afford to buy additional homes, now's the time.
Really?
Now's the time.
But people are saying that the interest rates are really high, the house prices keep increasing, so...
Okay, we got to be factual, not just opinion-based. If you look at, when they say interest rates are really high, it's high compared to what? It's high compared to an unusual time in the market.
Yeah.
2%, no bank should be loaning you money at 2%. We all know that. Like, that's free money, and we're paying for it now with inflation and all of that stuff. It's not free. It's something they did to get people out, It's never been that low since the 1950s. Now, we are at 6%. 6% is where we were before the pandemic.
Oh.
So I don't see
what
the big deal is.
Because when you look at the news, it's like people are panicking. They say, oh my God, the interest rate, it was supposed to go down in 2022.
You know what?
But then it didn't go down. It's so high. Maybe we should hold on not to sell our house. And
hold off. You don't be missing out. If you hold off, you're missing out. But, we have to think about one thing and be very careful. And Warren Buffett said something one time that I don't take lightly. It's still my guiding principle. When people are afraid, that's your time.
Yeah.
That's your sign to be investing.
Yeah.
When people are exiting the market, you should be entering the market.
That's true.
But what's the goal of newspapers? Newspapers are designed for sales.
Yeah.
It's the sensationalism that's selling. Like, the headlines is never,
Everything
something
is
great.
good,
No, they won't sell.
Yeah.
People want drama.
Yeah.
They want fear. Fear sells.
Yeah.
And that's what they talk about.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm sitting here reading contracts. Somebody's closing on a home and the rate is 5.99. During times like this, it's 6% for the person with a great credit, but there are buy downs.
Yeah.
There are ways to buy down. You can pay $3,000 and have a 5.99 score right now.
Yeah.
Right? It depends on the lender as well.
Yeah.
So the best advice is see a real estate professional that has a network of lenders, right? Why? Because not all lenders are created equal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. Some lenders would say, we would specialize in loans for lower scores. But then they would say, we have origination fees. Like 1% of the loan is origination fees. Not all lenders charge origination fees. Some lenders don't. They could charge a document fee of $600 flat for processing your loan.
Wow.
Some don't even have that $600, or they have periods where they waive that. So there are so many different things in the lending process that could be negotiable, but nobody ever negotiates because they make the rule.
Yeah.
They just tell you this is what it is, or you don't know.
Yeah, and it's important then to have a realtor that know what they're doing. It's
Exactly.
just not find you a house.
No.
But it have to know the
relationships.
the good lenders and stuff.
I have, part of my job sometimes in the day is to say, hey, let's get together with a lender. A new lender. Oh, I saw your products over here. Like, let's get together. And we'll sit down and I say, what products do you have? What are the eligibility requirements? What's the minimum score requirement? What's the minimum income requirement? So I hear all that, I compiled it, I know now to go back to, or they even send me flyers in my email. And now when a client comes to me, I interview them and I say, how's your score? How do you think your score is? If you know your score, great. If you don't know, we kind of, guess and go from there. I used to pull credit, but we can't do it all nowadays.
Oh, really? You cannot pull credit?
Oh. Not anymore. So we interview, how much do you make? How much do you have in debt? It's not to be nosy. It's to know exactly
how much you can afford.
Not only how much you can afford, but which lender is the best match for you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because otherwise you're going to get frustrated. You apply here. They'll say no, and you think that's the end of it. Some people have gotten denial with 2-3 lenders, and there was one lender that was the right lender for them and approved them.
Match,
and now,
And what about if the person is self-employed?
I was self-employed myself when I bought my house 3 years ago. So I should say my last house 3 years ago. And there are many type of loans that would work with you. There are bank statement loans. All they did was to use my last 6 months of my bank statement, and they use that average as your income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that requires a certain minimum credit score.
Yeah.
They are also where they say, have you filed in the last 2 years? Or if you filed, some investors would say, we'll take if you filed in the last year. You don't have to file 2 years of tax return. But others will say, you need 2 years of tax return or we can't do it. So it depends on the lender. There are a lot of options for self-employed borrowers. That may require a higher down payment or the typical down payment, but then it will require more documentation. Bank statements, W-2s, or transcript, it depends.
Now, for people that already have a house, do you think it's better to refinance, or if they want to sell and buy a new one, or if they have equity, is that better to have finance?
Why are they refinancing? That's a good question. Are they refinancing to doing a remodel, or they're refinancing to take the money and invest in something that will give them a higher yield, higher return?
Yeah.
If your loan is at a 5% rate or a 6% rate and you refinance, are you refinancing at 7%, the same or lower? If you're not refinancing at a lower rate, refinancing for the sake of refinancing doesn't make sense. Every situation is different. Now, if you're refinancing out of that home to invest in a product, or there are products out there that will give you 13% rate of return, then you would have made money.
Yeah.
Yes, you're borrowing at 5%, you're making money at 13%. The difference is your spread, and then you can put it back. There's so much options in this country.
Yeah, so much option, yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
And for the African community, because most of us, we are here, but we come from somewhere else, so we want to build a house there. So some people say, I'm not going to buy a house in the US, I'm going to take my money and buy my dream house back home. What will you tell those people?
So many things. What's their goal? Are they looking to relocate back home tomorrow, next year, 2 years, or is it 20 years down the line? I mean, homes that are not lived in, we know what happens to them.
Yeah.
They just self-destruct somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it does. That's number one. Number two, I think personally, it's better to own a home here and to use that home, the equity in that home, or the increase in value in that home, to then purchase your next home back home when you're ready. Either purchase it or build it. I'll give you an example. I had an older gentleman that bought a house in this country in 2004. He managed to resell every 5 years. He bought a home at $137,000. You can see, 2004.
Yeah.
Easy. And that rolling that property over into the next property and the next property every 5 years allow him to sit in a $500,000 home but still make the payment that he was making when he bought that initial home at $137,000.
Wow.
It's very easy to do. if you keep rolling, it's called a snowball effect.
Yeah.
If you keep rolling into the next home, but we have this mentality as African that I bought a home, I need to stay in it for 30 years. You're sitting on cash.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why you don't see real estate as an investment, because you're sitting on the cash. But that cash, other people in other communities are using that cash to buy another property. They're using that cash to invest in their business. They're using that cash to buy insurance policies that then help them buy another property. I mean, the sky's the limit in this country.
Yeah. And you were telling me earlier that there are also rules that our community don't know. Not rules, loopholes that our community we don't know that we could use to
buy.
Yeah, can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. I was giving you the example of a young Indian friend of mine who bought a $5 million worth of portfolio by simply buying a $1 million insurance policy. It hasn't even been a year. Okay, that $1 million insurance policy is an investment of $1,300 a month for him. 3 payments. And now he's using that $1 million because the bank said this is worth $1 million as a collateral or a down payment on the $5 million worth of strip mall.
Wow.
So how much did that guy spend out of his own pocket?
Yeah.
Less than $6,000, less than $10,000. Now he has a $5 million property that all the tenants are renting and paying for.
Wow.
That is the magic of leveraging. You know? Why are we doing that? Why are we coming up with 100,000, 200,000 to go build a home that you're not going to stay in? Absolutely education that needs to be done. Yeah. And, you know, I'm planning on launching some courses very, very, very soon that walk people step by step into doing that. If that's their desire to acquire wealth, because who wants to be working all the time for money?
Yeah, and not even have enough retirement the way retirement goes.
No. We have people retiring with 100,000.
And there's okay, you cannot even afford to retire.
To retire, yeah. That's not a life.
Yeah,
that's not a life.
So, are you just helping people in Atlanta, or if somebody want to reach out to you anywhere?
Anywhere in the States. I'm pioneering this here, but anywhere in the United States and Canada.
Oh, even Canada.
Even Canada.
Okay.
I just helped my younger brother in Paris. That was a pioneer. See how it works from a distance.
Wow.
He's acquired his first Airbnb.
Wow. That's
so
awesome.
I would be going these ways and helping another client purchase something in Portugal and Italy, and then I'll add that to the portfolio.
Yeah.
But right now, as it stands, we're doing it in all 50 states and Canada.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So you can even help people that already have a house who want to buy another house for Airbnb or
how do you use that property or the sum of your asset to acquire that?
And do you do commercial like?
Yes,
because you were talking about strip mall. That's good. You're making money, Mary.
Somebody has to make the money, okay?
That's really good.
Somebody has to make
somebody has to make the money.
Somebody said, if you find a way to provide value to your fellow human being, you will never lack what to eat.
That's true.
And that's it.
The service to others.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow,
so,
that's awesome. So
you're doing beautiful work over here too.
Thank you. I'm trying, but that's good. So people can contact you and the education part. I really want you to do a seminar or something educating people.
It's in the work, Nafi. You would be the first to be invited to.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah,
to broadcast the whole thing.
That's needed in the African community. We need to know about home ownership, buying a house. Because I don't see point of renting. Rent are expensive right now, so.
I don't see the point either. But that's because you're a smart woman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When we were relocating, my husband was like, won't we rent for 1 year and see? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm buying and selling in 1 year.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I would rather sell in 1 year than rent for 1 year. At how $2,600?
Yeah.
When you can pay $3,000 in your own home, that's $400.
That's not worth it. Well, Mary, I think we're gonna have another session because this is very interesting and very needed. So, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure was all
and
mine.
It's amazing.